Judas and the Black Messiah. Anyone who regularly reads my written blog has seen in some of my reviews, especially the one on Do the Right Thing, how much I care about issues of social injustice, civil rights being a big one, and in particular, the Black experience is something that really moves me, breaks my heart. I mean, who suffered more in American history besides Native Americans? And I've learned a lot of what I have about African American history on my own as an adult, because in schools, you'll see a lot of Blacks pointing this out with the correct level of anger, how they basically teach, yeah, there was slavery for a while, but then Lincoln freed them, even though some southern states were fighting for states' rights. Then after this slavery was outlawed, there was still discrimination, but then President Johnson outlawed that, and the last racist was put in jail for life when he killed Martin Luther King Jr. And despite being one of the top students in my AP US history class in high school, I was actually wondering, hearing tidbits about the Black Panther Party in my adult life, wondering what they still wanted. The Civil Rights Act had already been passed, so didn't Blacks have equality? But they had social equality, technically, but not economic equality. That was what Martin Luther King Jr. was fighting about in the last years of his life. The last years of life, because he was killed, probably by the FBI. His family believes 1% that James Earl Ray was just a patsy and went to jail for life for something he didn't do. But yeah, the reason King's hatred from American whites increased during his last years of his life. I mean, he was always unpopular. White moderates didn't want to disturb the peace, but in the last years of his life in particular, he saw eye to eye with Malcolm X because after the several centuries of slavery, followed by the 1 century of Jim Crow laws, Blacks had not received any kind of reparations. They were supposed to start with nothing and be expected to succeed in a society where the whites had centuries of head starts created for them on the backs of oppressed African Americans. Says the Black Panther Black Panther movement was there to advocate for a more just distribution of resources in American society, especially because slavery was never really outlawed. There was that clause in the Constitution, gone into detail by movie 13th, a much better film than Judas and the Black Messiah, but about how people could still be used for slave labor if they were in prisons, thereby opening the way for Black people arrested for minor or non-existent crimes, unable to afford proper representation, going to jail, being able to being forced to perform slave labor inside the prisons. It's a Black Panther movie is an important and very unjust part of American history. They deserve a great movie, but Judas and the Black Messiah is not that. There was no memorable dialogue. Couldn't quite figure out who the lead character was supposed to be. There was no background music, no good score to help get me in the mood, and the editing didn't visually hold my interest at all. About halfway through, I just gave up on the movie and stopped watching. It almost seems as if someone traveled back in time to Black Panther events and turned on the camera and then just show us some of the footage they got. Being a documentary, with raw footage, the person holding the camera has got to zoom in on the right people so we know who we're supposed to be focusing on and have to edit it appropriately, zero in on the exciting stuff to keep our attention, our interest. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to say pass on Judas and the Black Messiah. But one good thing will come out of my having watched half of it, when I eventually put forth my written post. The accompanying older movies will be from that wave of early 90s movies dealing with the effects of the forced poverty blacks were still dealing with decades after the Black Panther movement, because the movement hadn't succeeded in bringing back equality. Nothing has to this day. Those movies will include Boys in the Hood, which I love, and two movies I'll be watching for the first time, Menace to Society and South Central. Maybe I'll even throw Juice in there. But yeah, for those written posts, you can go to my blog at autisticartcritic.com for future vlog videos. To stay posted on those, please hit the subscribe button below, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook for any and all updates. Thank you.